Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. AMC stock is up over 1% today, and it's a very volatile day. Stocks such as Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, other big tech names are in deep red territory, and Citi thinks we could see almost 10% downside from here. So what's going on here in the markets as well as with AMC stock today, and what do you need to know about all of it? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys do want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. We put on a trade last Friday that is paying out some sweet tendies here today with a huge potential upside gain. I think there's still a lot of potential in that trade, but I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to me if you are a part of that group. If you're not, don't listen to anything I say. Take it with a grain of salt and always verify everything that you hear. And don't invest or trade anything that you're unwilling to lose. Now, AMC stock up 1.19%. Now, I'm sure you guys could probably tell or infer that the Ortex data also looks very encouraging. But before we get into that, a couple things I want to note on is that Citi downgrades U.S. stocks, sees S&P 500 pull back 9% to 4,000. So they are expecting a pullback for the markets, mainly based off of earnings. Now, long story short, markets are expensive. Not your small and mid-cap stocks, but your big tech stocks are very expensive. Now, earnings season, if earnings don't come in better than expectations and you really start to see a lot of profits coming to the bottom line, you're going to miss full year estimates and these valuations are going to look even more expensive. You're trading close to the highest that you have traded on a PE basis in the last couple of years, right? When interest rates were 0. Now they're over 5%. And there is alternatives such as bonds. Right? Bonds are a pretty good alternative right now. So that kind of changes the profile of the stock market. If you can get over 5% in a 3-month bond, why are you buying stocks that are overvalued? Now, like I said, small and mid-cap stocks are not quite as overvalued. They're quite undervalued historically speaking, and that's why the Russell 2000 is outperforming so hard today. This is really a rotation more than anything else. People selling big tech in the NASDAQ, and they're buying small and mid caps in the Russell 2000. And I think if you are a long-term investor, that is really where you would want to look, is essentially your small and mid cap stocks. That's why we've been buying them for a while now. Now, this I think is interesting as well. It says the American banking landscape is on the cusp of a seismic shift. Expect more pain to come. Rising interest rates, losses on commercial real estate, and heightened regulatory scrutiny will pressure regional and mid-sized banks, leading to a wave of mergers, sources told CNBC. Some of those pressures will be visible as regional banks disclose second quarter results this month. Firms including Zions and KeyCorp have already warned of sinking revenues. Half the country's banks will likely be swallowed by competitors in the next decade, according to Fitch analyst Chris Wolf. Some of these banks will survive by being the buyer rather than the target, said incoming Lazard CEO Peter Orszag. We could see over time fewer, larger regionals. I think that's quite interesting because that would, they're saying you could expect a lot of mergers. So we start to actually get bank earnings on Friday, and that could be a problem for the markets. You're going to get JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, State Street, and BlackRock. If these earnings are no bueno, not good, then that could be a problem for the markets, obviously. So that's something that I am watching pretty closely here. Now, in regards to AMC, if that's all you care about, if that's all you invest in, you don't give a shit about anything else that's been said, well, good news for you. Stock's in the green today, and it's likely to be green quite a bit over the next couple of days and weeks. Now, we're still obviously waiting on the judge to make that final decision and the final ruling. And then once that happens, it's likely to be a bullish reaction for the stock. That's pretty clear, right? Markets will look past any potential bearish. We've already priced that in. And then basically instantly, and especially afterwards, you're going to see markets pricing in $5 to $10 billion of capital getting raised as a very positive thing, and that should drive AMC stock up higher. Question is, does that happen this week? Does that happen next week? Does it happen the week after that? We just don't know when this will happen. And ultimately, when that happens, it is going to be a positive event, but we just don't know. Now, if we take a look at some of the option activity here today, extremely bearish again. Got another $1.3 million put position right there, 500,000, 400,000, 400,000. You're seeing one call come through for 31,000. Other than that, you're seeing all of these very large put positions, and now they're targeting the $17 put for July 21st. Another one that is deep in the money. And we've seen this over and over again, really, is that $17 puts being targeted. Instead of the $10 put like we seen last time, it's now the $17 put. So they're just going deeper into the money, which is strange. And maybe they're trying to hide some of their short interest numbers, or better yet, they're just trying to suppress AMC stock. Now, the best way you can think about this is if you do see more and more of those $17 puts being placed on AMC, yeah, in the short term, it suppresses the stock. Without these options today, this AMC would probably be up over 3%. You're up 1%. But the more bearish option flows you see, the more bullish that you actually want to be. It's very counterintuitive, very counter to logical thinking. But that's how it works, right? If everyone is bearish, nobody starts to turn positive or bullish. Typically, you do see the minority win over the majority, at least in the markets here, with a lot of these kind of catalyst, right? If everyone's betting for a certain result, that's usually not the direction the stock moves in, even if you're right about the catalyst being bullish or bearish. So do keep that in mind. Now, if we take a look at the Ortex data here, just some raw numbers, things look pretty encouraging. You have a short score of 95. $488.15 million worth of short positions. Currently, estimated short interest of free float at 22.51%. Free float out on loan at 34.5%. Shares out on loan 178.1 million. Days to cover 9.69, which is up 90% in the last 3 months. So volume has basically been falling off of a cliff. At the same time, the amount of shares continues to remain pretty stable. This is leading to the days to cover to go higher. Trailing 3-month cost to borrow, 216.8%. And you are now back at 100% share utilization. So that didn't last long, where you actually fell to about 92%. Now you're back to 100%. So there's that. Now, if we take a look at the cost to borrow fees, well, we're starting off this week with a bang as well. Cost to borrow average, 1,000%. Cost to borrow max, still at 1,060%. Cost to borrow minimum, 856%. Interactive Brokers still has a cost to borrow fee on AMC stock at 947.5%. AMC stock is on the threshold securities list. You've been on this list for a while. It basically just means expect some buying pressure here over the next, couple of days, couple of weeks. As long as you stay on the threshold securities list, it puts everyone on notice that essentially you got some positions you need to take care of. Now, as far as the Stonk-O-Tracker data, again, I'm watching this week, because if you start to see more options head onto the option chain, that's going to give you a bigger and bigger move, essentially. So we're looking at calls in the money at 7,000, calls out the money at 83,000, puts in the money at 42,000, and puts out the money at 89,000. So they're pretty comparable here, at least on the out the money calls and out the money puts. The in the money number, that's where you're getting a little bit of a divergence. Only 7,000 calls in the money and 42,000 puts in the money. So definitely a lot more puts that are in the money. If you do start to see a rise in AMC, well, some of these puts are going to go out the money. That's going to mean market makers need to buy the stock, and some of the calls are going to go into the money, and that also means market makers have to go out and buy the stock. So that is something that I am looking to see if it develops by the end of the week. Now, like I said in yesterday's video, you have CPI coming on Wednesday. That's really, if you were to boil it down, earnings and CPI, these could be possibly negative catalyst, right? Like we've talked about a couple times now. And your positioning for that, to put on some hedges, to reduce some exposure, your chance to do that is today and tomorrow. As tomorrow, you really don't have any big economic data as well. These are the days that I would expect to see a little bit more weakness. Now, Wednesday, if CPI is not as bad as feared or better than expectations, that's where you could see a rebound. If it's bad, well, that's probably where you continue to see a sell-off. But Monday and Tuesday, we're likely to be pretty volatile red days, no matter what, in my personal opinion, guys. So that's currently what the situation does look like. S&P is trying to climb back right now. AMC stock, pretty stable actually, up about 1.2%. Again, kind of just trading sideways here, kind of creating this downside wedge, which does tend to be pretty bullish. Short-term KST indicator did go off. The momentum indicator did go off, as well as the moving average, convergence / divergence. The MACD also went in positive territory as of recently. And the FSTO also gave us a positive indicator as of recently. So we are kind of trading sideways here, but it looks more bullish than not. And like I said in yesterday's video, if we do get a ruling from the courts this week, AMC stock could absolutely rip. Like, it could rip. Say that happens next week, well, that's also a possibility. And then I would expect a rally next week. Literally, whenever this happens, I would expect a rally, unless the markets are absolutely tanking. And even if they are tanking, that actually might drain some liquidity out of the markets, and it might make, for a worse situation for the shorts. But either way you put it, with cost to borrow fees at 1,000%, every time you have seen cost to borrow fees rally in the past, AMC stock has also rallied. Sometimes there's a lag, sometimes there's a delay. It can be a couple days, it could be a week sometimes. But when those cost to borrow fees start to spike, so does the price of AMC. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. That is what you guys need to know. I will keep you guys updated on anything else that happens throughout the day today. Nonetheless, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.